3 types of properties to invest in to safeguard your property investment during a recession. Now, there's worldwide tariffs going around. This is crazy. Just imagine paying 10% or 20% more for meat, vegetables, toilet paper, and anything that you use on a daily basis. We've already got skyrocketing cost of living and electricity, but just imagine paying more and what the world will look like in the next 2 to 3 years as this tariff flows through the global economy. That's why today I'm going to share with you 3 types of properties that's going to safeguard you in cash flow, in growth, and long-term security in your property investing. This video is all about the type of properties, and if you stay tuned till the end, I'm going to tell you what is going to be the most dangerous property to invest in right now in this current market, the highest risk, and you don't want to go there. My name is Helen Tarrant. I help everyday Australians become wealthy through investing in commercial property and halving their investment journey in investing commercial versus residential, so therefore you can accelerate cash flow, growth, and uplift in your journey. Want to find out more? Book in for that free strategy session. Also check out our upcoming event that's absolutely free, teaching you from beginning to end how to get to the next level in your investment journey. Let's get started. Now, 3 types of properties. Why are these properties so important? Now, these 3 types of property has inherent tenant in them that suits really well for the market and adapts to market conditions. And the consumer spend continues to grow no matter what happens in the market. So number 1 is actually pets. We here as a country spend almost as much as the US in what we spend on our pets. That's pet food, pet supplements, pet appointments with the vets, your pet grooming, anything to do with pets. We are obsessed with pets. Our pet ownership went up by almost 50%, like I said, 50% more during COVID. And now these pets are having a luxury lifestyle, and people working from home, people chasing that lifestyle or companionship have found solace in owning a pet. That means that pets, no matter what happens with the recession, they will still go to the vet, they will still eat, they will still get your toys, they will still be socializing with other pets. So anything to do with pets, vets, animal products, it's pretty secure. Doesn't matter what the economy is doing. That's been proven during COVID. And if we have a recession, that's going to be proven again and again. So that's our number 1 type of tenant. And where do these tenants live? They can be in retail stores. Most of them are in retail shops, right? So they'll have a little pet shop, little groomers. You'll have a vet. That's all going to be, or a little freestanding property. It's all going to be retail. The next follow on from this, if you're doing pet foods, your pet domains and pet barns, that's all going to be in warehouse property. So about pet stuff, right? Doesn't matter if you're buying a retail shop and it has pet products in it, it's going to be secure. That's number 1. Number 2 is actually professional services. Do you know that accountants were one of the most busiest people during COVID? And in fact, we can look back to COVID to look at what recession would be like and how these professional tenants are going to behave. Accountants, financial wealth managers, boom, their business doubled and tripled during that time. It's because people are looking for alternative ways to safeguard their investment, and they're looking to catch up on their taxes. They're looking at minimizing their taxes. They're looking at switching out their investments. And that's why accountants were so busy during that time. And they made more profit margin than ever before because they were working from home, less overheads. And they can also then offshore most of their staff members and therefore reduce their overheads in terms of staff and turnover and all that paper and everything being so digital. Now they can have clients all over the world. So that means that accountants, professional services like wealth managers, but guess what? Lawyers has also been so busy during that time. Yes, people were more litigious than ever during COVID. Now, during this recession, you're going to have heaps of people suing builders, suing anybody they can to make sure they get extra dollars, right? And also divorce went through the roof. So you have lawyers who are so busy. Again, they could work from home. A lot of them do actually work in an office space just because they're used to working in offices, but also that for them, they've got piles and piles of paperwork that's all set up and working from office spaces. Just really suits them than working from home. So your professional tenants are really actually more secure than you think. However, they're not going to be in an industrial space. They are going to be in an office space. But a professional tenant that's well known, well established in the market is worth its weight in gold because there's constant flow of clients that come through, and good accountants, good lawyers are very hard to find. And once someone finds them, they tend to hold on to them, right? So number 3 is government services. Now, you might think it's allied health, healthcare, all of those things, but it is not. It is government. And why? Because government makes policy. And with policy, the first person to reap the reward are government tenants. That means that's your Centrelinks, your job, looking for jobs. So reskilling jobs, going back to the workforce, like your max employment, and also Aboriginal services, because that is evergreen. Government's always going to support Aboriginal services, disability services, mental health. Like these are all these government-backed companies and services that are evergreen, because the government's always going to continue to spend. But they could cut back on health. They can cut back things off the PBS. They could cut back and say this is no longer included and it has to be now part of out-of-pocket expenses. So that can impact healthcare, right? That can come with different elections and different people being in place. But those stable services that support the economy are never going to be short of funding. And with funding, that comes with a very, very stable tenant that can pay your rent. Doesn't matter if there's a recession. But these government services are not going to be in warehouses. They are going to be retail mostly, followed by office spaces. And most of the time, they're going to be in areas where there's a hub of other government tenants. So do look for that. So number 3, the most secure for all of this is actually a recession-proof is government-backed tenants. So they're in office spaces or retail. Think about it. Have you ever seen a Centrelink in a warehouse? No, they're mostly in a retail space. Most government services or NDIS or disability are in retail or office spaces. So they are going to be number 1 security against your pets and your professional services. However, if you want to know one type of property that not to invest in this current market, then continue on and watch this video. My name is Helen Tarrant. I help everyday Australians become wealthy through investing in commercial property, and I can help you do that as well. I've got an upcoming webinar. All the information is below. And in that webinar, I'm going to be sharing with you the ins and outs of commercial property. If you're looking at leveling up your portfolio, going into commercial property and really stepping up your cash flow, and having that balance of cash flow and growth in your portfolio, then commercial property is the next step. All you have to do is click the link below and join us for our upcoming webinar. But if you're ready to take the next step forward and you think, I just need to talk to someone, then you can book in for a strategy course straight directly with me in the link below. Now, let's see what is the most dangerous, unsecure property you can invest in. Bum, 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 bum. That is a $500,000 or below property. Now, there is properties out there that are good, but it's few and far between. So you could buy a really, really good cafe or a pizzeria that is stable, but most people who buy $500,000 properties don't have government-backed tenants, aren't allied health, aren't secured by a very good lease or type of tenant that's been there for a long time, and there's very few in the market, and most people who buy that are constrained in the market to buy that. So right now, the most dangerous place to be is to buy a $500,000 property with a run-of-the-mill tenant that doesn't have established history. And a lot of people invest in that because that's all they can, and they see the cash flow. They go to regional or they go to fringe areas to buy this and thinking they've got a great deal. Or the worst thing you could do is to take $1 million, where you can buy $1 million or $2 million and go, oh, you know what, I'll just buy $500,000-$600,000 property and 2 lots of them. This isn't residential, right? Commercial, you don't do that. You rather buy $1 million or $2 million properties rather than the smaller properties, because if you buy the smaller property, you're at risk. You're at risk because the tenant can do a runner and it's very, very hard for you to go after. The legal fee is not worth you going after. Your retenancy costs will be high, and also you might have a longer period of vacancy because there's so many more choices and you're only dealing with a lower level of tenants rather than higher level tenants. Because BHPs of this world, the government tenants, the vets of this world are not renting $500,000 spaces. They are renting $5 million spaces, right? So in commercial, bigger is better than smaller. Don't get into the trap of finding something that you think looks great, it's $500K, rather than if you can go up to 800, 900 or $1 million or $1.5 million, right? So very, very important tip. But what if you can only buy $500,000 and you can't afford to buy anything else? What can you do? Well, to buy $500,000, you need about $100,000 to $200,000 in deposit. Right? You can come together. One of the safest things to do when you're in that space is come together and do a syndication. Here at Unicorn Commercial Property, we do have partnerships with Unicorn where we put our own money into deals, where we allow other people to come into these deals on a unit basis, where it's only going to cost you around $200,000 to $400,000 per unit. Now, that means you can be part of a larger group of investors, but now you're accessing $20, $30, $40 million of property. But guess what? Those properties are secure. They're government-backed tenants. They've got solid brand name tenants, Ally Health, medical tenants that are going to have uplift potential. You can invest in properties along with the group of other like-minded investors of solid professional tenants, government-backed tenants, medical tenants, all of the things that I talk about having the most secure tenants right now to weather through recession. That's what happens in a syndication. So if you are buying a $500,000 property, you're in the most dangerous zone. Rather than being in a dangerous zone, shift that money into a unit, into a syndication with Unicorn and with other like-minded investors. And that means that you can now access security, cash flow, and growth all at the same time. Want to find out more? Click the link below for an investor pack, and I can showcase to you your possibilities to give you security, cash flow, and growth all in one deal. My name is Helen Tarrant. Thank you for watching this video. Hit the subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video as we discuss more things about commercial property and safeguarding your investments.